Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself actually on the show this evening as the one and only AK and my big mucker Southside. Evening, gentlemen.
Evening, Oxshire, evening, Southside, the techie team and everybody that's listening.
Evening, Southside.
Evening, Oxfordshire. Good to be on the night with AK. I'll give a shout out to the troops that are on the YouTube feed. Say hello to them. Thanks to them for joining us tonight, as always. Loyal and true, the troops on the YouTube feed.
Well, you've not been on for a while, AK. Do you want to do all your shout outs, then we'll go straight to the tune?
No, on you go. YouTube's good for me.
Hey, I'm not finished yet. Do you want me to see a shout out to my other two pals out of me, no? Because they're on the YouTube feed, I know. I just never sort of got it out in time, you know.
Oh, we're talking about timekeeping now, are we?
Timekeeping's not been great, is it? It's holiday time, and it's a holiday Monday, man. It's like, let's get fair in it. Well, just quickly, I'll say hello, because we met the two boys when we were out having a swally. Some of the people on the Rangers Radio that night, and he actually clocked Big Stevie, heard his voice, and then went, you Big Stevie for the drum. And that was a cat out the bag, wasn't it, when he put the dairy on the biggin. So I'll give a shout out to Stevie and Norrie, who we met and had 5 hours of drinking time with us that night and thoroughly enjoyed their company. I know they listen to the show all the time, and they were surprised we were in there.
David Mair's shout outs in Foxcourt for winning the Open yesterday.
Some pop, wasn't it? Aye, I know, but got to give them a shout out. They listen to the show all the time, and they were happy to meet Albert and AK. That was their favourites.
Oh well, there's the account for taste.
Ox, that's not the truth. He said that Albert and Southside are our favourites. The two of them just went like Cheshire cats.
I can imagine, AK. I can imagine, yeah. Aye. Listen, aye. Look, we'll touch just briefly on the end of the World Cup last night, just to get your thoughts on it, just because it's the right thing to do. We'll move on to the Rangers. Things are, I'll say, simmering and not quite in a boil. I think things are going to start moving. Information is hopefully by Wednesday. Some people in the door, but there's a lot happening underneath. You could say things are close to the boil. We'll get the draw. We'll talk about that, and we'll get the phone lines opened if that's all right with you two gentlemen. Yes.
Yep. Good for me.
Aye, not a problem. Get some people on the night. Hopefully, get a wee chat.
Aye, AK. Listen, I've just seen your message, mate. Floor's yours, mate. First shout, a legendary game.
Just some sad breaking news tonight when I think it was about 4 o'clock or something. I heard that myself, Kevin Keegan, passed away today. Sad news for the world of football. Didn't see him play a bit before my time, but they say he was a hell of a player. He was a 2-time Ballon d'Or winner, wasn't he? He went to Hamburg out in Germany. But as a manager and a character of the game, I think everybody was well respectful of Kevin's, just his persona. Came across as a good guy, a hell of a player, with obviously England and the clubs that he played for. So it's sad news for his friends and family this day. So rest easy, Kevin.
Yeah, 2-time Ballon d'Or winner. That says it all. So says, yeah.
Aye, some player. Remember him? He was a wee boy growing up watching him. Tosh and Keegan at Liverpool. It was a double act. but a fantastic player. Scored loads of wonderful goals. Penalty box sort of striker, wasn't he? And we know and played for Hamburg and done well there and all. Not many players go abroad and do well. Early years, there's been some went abroad and failed. Back in the day when they were going abroad. But fantastic player, and they've done all right management as well for a period of time. Fantastic person by all accounts. It was sad news today. The illness, sad, but a wonderful, gifted player.
Aye. Top player. I've never met Kevin Keegan. You know what I mean? I've met over my time. I've met quite a lot of players in the different places. Never came across him, but top career. Obviously, you're right. There wasn't a lot of so-called British players went abroad and maybe made it a success of it, and he went to Hamburg, maybe one of the less fashionable German teams. There's still been West Germany when he went there, and they got to the European Cup final, get beat with Forest in Madrid. I think it was John Robertson that scored the goal, I think, from memory. But to win that Ballon d'Or twice, you know, to be the top player in Europe twice, it just speaks what other people thought his talents. And as he said, they made the best of what he had. There was other guys that were easier on the eye, but his attitude, his work rate, and his heart, stood him out. And sad day for football. Sad day for football. Talking about a sad day for football, I don't suppose if that was the last football match you go to watch last night, I'm not been flipping. I hope it wasn't. Because obviously he was dealing with that with him and his family, but what a poor game for a World Cup final, AK.
Aye, it was right up there with all three of Scotland's games. Shocking, wasn't it? A terrible game of football. There was only one team that was one to win, and that was Spain with amount of shots at goal and shots on target. Argentina did not have a shot at goal until the 117th minute of the game. I find that scandalous, ridiculous. So football won, thankfully. No FIFA, the officials are messy of that. So I was quite happy with that, to be honest with you, Ox. The scenes at the end of the game were disgraceful, but that's Argentina for you. They'll do anything to beat their grand.
Aye. It wasn't a great game, Southside. I don't think Spain were particularly brilliant neither, but they were far better than the opposition.
Aye, they were the only team that was looking to go out and try and score and win the game. It was a hard watch. I was getting a bit bored with it, to be honest. I didn't exactly come back. I didn't know how long that half time was lasting. That was a nonsense and all. The half time. I come back and I think it was about 65 minutes going or something. The time I switched it back across. But it was a hard watch. But Spain deserved it. And as you've seen the antics of the Argentinians at the end, even turning their back on it when Spain were going up to get their trophies and not to get a trophy and their medals. Shameless. But aye, that is what it is. And Spain obviously went out. We've only conceded one goal in the competition. And by all accounts, they deserve to win it, I suppose. They probably shaded it as being one of the better teams. The game the night before was mad with England and France game. That was a bit mental that night. And I think if England hadn't made the substitutions, and done it, I think they'd have got to the final and played Spain. But I think their manager cost England a chance to go to the final, if I'm honest.
Well, oh well. Oh well.
I knew you'd say that.
But listen, it's just talking about the final last night. It was a disappointment. You know. Spain played the way they played. They kept the ball and they keep coming. But you know, it takes two teams to make a game sometimes, and obviously you need goals to change a game. It might have been better if Spain had scored earlier. Had they brought the opposition out, it might have been a better game. It was poor fair. And I think our Ali summed it up. She said any Americans watching this will go back to their baseball and American football. Anyway, we move on. So, we had the draw today. I'm not going to the Adventures of Southside. I'll keep that for a chapter when I get the book eventually finished. Get the film right sold, Southside.
It might be 2 parts.
But quite a favourable draw. I don't know what you're thinking yourself, AK.
Yeah, there could have been worse draws out there, I suppose. So we'll take it. Hopefully get past it and then move on.
How Jigalina Bailey stock would that do you?
If you want to talk about Jiggy's ass, up to you.
I don't really know.
It's a fair as effort of any affair.
I thought that was just out by Easterhouse. Bailey stock.
Aye. Aye, a Polish team. We'll call them a Polish team.
Aye. Honestly, Southside, never heard of them.
I have seen their name at times throughout the European competitions. Jagalina. Only odds just over 2. Is it 22,000 or something? I think it said in the stadium. Polish. By all accounts, I'll probably put up a stiff fight against us, Maybe it comes early for us, in the season. Like I said, we're only going to have these couple of games, Dundee United, and then we'll be in the Thursday night. After the Dundee United game, we'll be in the Thursday. We're playing trains and automobiles, we'll be leaving probably on the Wednesday nights to get off for the Thursday and then back on the Friday. So, it's one that's a hurdle we need to make sure that we win Oaks. We'd like to try and progress. Listen, as we say every season, the league should be the main priority. When we start a season, it should always be the priority. But Europe is quite important, and the directors and the club see the finances quite important that way as well. So we might try and make a mark in there as well and get into the qualifying anyway. But it'll just be, I should be get through it all. We'll have plenty of Sunday games, but that's just the way it's going to be. That's the way it's going to be. But aye, a decent tie, I think, to get first round Oaks, and hopefully we'll get through it over the 2 legs.
I've got us as favourites, mate, which you can't always say, AK.
No, true. I think it's just we're stepping into the unknown a wee bit. Obviously, it's not Polish teams are, there's no many of them that are household names. We've played Legia Warsaw in the past and Katowice and that. So, but if we look at the table there, before we come on, they actually finished in 3rd in the Polish league last year, and Legia Warsaw were 6th. They finished joint 2nd, like Poznan won their league, and their season starts just before ours. They're unbeaten in their pre-season games so far, and they've got a big Congo striker up there that was our top goal scorer last night, and I'll try and pronounce his name for you. It's Palulu. Palulu is his name. He scored 15 goals last year, and the second top goal scorer was a wee Spanish guy called Imaz, who's a veteran. So we'll see what we got. But it could have been worse, but it's all about us trying to knit the team together. A lot of new players in the team, and we're not going to be up running right away. So we just need to try and get a good result first leg. But I think the most important one for you, Southside, if you're travelling, which I expect you will for your 96 European trip, I believe the locals say a pint of beer there is between £2 and £3. So that'll be music to your ears, pal.
Aye, that sounds all right for a change to £3 a beer. Aye, I suppose it depends. Sometimes I'm not that friendly when you go abroad. But I'm hoping to be able to sit somewhere and have enjoy a beer. But if not, you need to be running about with a gum shield and a boxing gloves on. It'll be one or the other, you know what I mean? That's what happens when you go abroad nowadays. It's not as friendly as it used to be. But anyway, they're a team that we need to overcome. And listen, that's where we got it. It's just about an hour and a half outside Warsaw. So we can get a train done to that. So, but aye, looking forward to it when the game comes in. I'm sure. I think we're getting just over 1,000 tickets, I believe, or something. So we'll see what happens. It'll be interesting to see how much Rangers price the tickets at for the home game and all. Hopefully they'll be a bit generous to the support since it's early season. Everybody's been their holidays and stuff. But when you're paying £20 and £25 for the next two friendlies, it'll be interesting to see what Rangers pitch it at for the home game works.
That's a serious question, Southside, right? That's a serious question, you know. What would you pitch it at? What do you think's fair for that category of game, if you like?
It's for a home game.
Aye.
It should be about £20, to be honest. I know Rangers will no pitch it at that, but it should be, because the ticket out there will only be about that price. Some of the ticket prices abroad are a lot cheaper than what we're paying at Ibrox and have been paying over the piece. And I think for it being the first game, I think £20 would be all right, but they'll take into consideration.
I can't see it being cheaper.
Nah.
Mate.
No, I mentioned Rangers will probably. I think Rangers will price it between £25 and £30. I think, and I'm trying to be generous at that. It could be more than that, but obviously you're going to take into consideration. They'll be like, we need to pay for the Polish, we need to pay for this, we need to pay for that, and everything else. But to be honest, listen, you should be able to pitch it about that price.
I think you've been fair there with £30.
And I think it'd be fair to the supporters. Listen, it costs us a lot of money to follow Rangers home, away and abroad. We'll be going up to Tannadice. It's now Dundee United are taking £40 off us for the Jerry Kerr stand. 37 and £38 next Friday night, and £40 for that Jerry Kerr stand, which is a complete dump. And that's what we're paying in Scotland. So I know people say, well, how do you expect to be cheaper in Europe and that? But Rangers should be doing the home support a favour here. We pay good money. We travel home and away, and everybody else that travels far and wide, even come to Ibrox Socks, and the expense a midweek game. So they should price it reasonable for us, I'd like to hope.
My rationale is, if you price it too heavy, you could end up taking less revenue in, because it's not a glamour tie, yeah?
I get that. I get what Southside's saying as well. I think if you're running about the £25, £30, I think that's pretty reasonable for this stage, because it isn't the glamour tie. It isn't the team that's recognisable. But it's still a team that you want to fill out your stadium, don't you? You want as many a sellout if you can. Unlike the mob from the other end of the city at the weekend there, when it was like trays out of Asda. I don't know if you caught that.
Be careful, mate. Be careful. Be careful what you shout about, yeah? Before Wednesday night, yeah? But listen, I think 30, 35, I think the trouble, you go 40, 45. You're only talking about £5 a difference, but it sways people, and you can end up with restaurant revenue. And obviously the tickets will get dearer as the bigger names go, but I think you've been fair if you priced it right. You could end up taking them in more money, bizarrely, Might be interesting to see if the listeners get any thoughts on that. Some people might say they should use it free, Southside, but I don't think that's going to happen, and the days are gone, because it's no part of your season ticket package, is it?
Nah, well, they used to do it. If you remember back, you used to get the league games at Ibrox were free, and you used to get a European game free. Maybe usually the first one, because it was a qualifier. And listen, things have changed. You can watch it on the telly now. It's getting beamed on the telly. It probably will be live, put out there. So if Rangers don't price it right, then what will happen is, continuous credit mob will get charged for their tickets. Rangers will seem happy because they're getting 30 odd thousand, probably. I mean, then they'll just get seats subbed, because people might think it's too dear to travel, and some people might still be on holiday. Loads of reasons. But if it's priced right, you're a good chance that you'll probably fill the stadium. And I think probably £20 is too cheap, right? I'm probably really thinking it, but I'm looking for Rangers to give you a loyalty bonus here. They should begin as a loyalty bonus at the start of the season. The feel-good factor. We've all shipped our money in this year. They're going on about the amount of season tickets we've sold. So why no turn around and say, do you know what? It's the first game. Let's make it that wee bit cheaper. Even if they priced it £25 Ox. I'm not so keen on the 30 to 35 because I think that's coming. Should we get by this mob?
I'll give you the tenner, yeah.
What's that?
I'll give you the tenner.
But you have, well, thanks for that. That's fine.
I've got a different view, mate, in loyalty. I've got a different view, mate. I'm accepting that game's not going to be full. And I think families and kids and all that have all got to go to their first game. Yeah, and obviously the time of the year with the weather and that being all right, okay, well, yeah, you assume the weather's going to be not too bad. All that comes into place, and it's a chance. You've always got to look for the next generation as well. And that's how I want the price, because if you're a family of four gone with a couple of kids, and maybe they're, we'll say 7 and 6, and it's their first game at Ibrox, and they're all gone, you can price it out of there. Take it away from them. If you get it right, you could. Then you go. That could be 2 fans for life, mate. Yeah.
Aye, no, definitely. So what kind of bracket would you be looking for a kid? About a tenner or something?
I think that's fair, mate. I think that's fair.
Yep.
I think that's fair, mate.
Concessions, what, 15, 20 quid?
You know.
Aye, listen, you're right, you've got a point there. But we just want to fill the stadium as much as we can. I mean, Southside's right, that the guys fork out a hell of a lot of money that's travelling home, away and abroad. You know, your season ticket holder is forking out but everybody, if you can afford it, that's what you're trying to put back into the club, innit? There are different means that you can do it, buying merchandise or buying merch at My Gers or, Gers TV, Rangers TV, whatever. So it's just everybody, whatever you can afford to put something back into the club. As you say, if you price it right, look for a full house if you can. Kids going to the Ibrox for the first time, that's you going on for life then, and that's what you hope to get.
I watched that Gers TV once. I needed the telly the size of the Dallas Stadium for the 2 guys that was on it.
That's a lot of money, I know, by the way. That's a lot of money they charge for that, I know. And that's another thing Rangers should be looking at. Maybe the fans advisory board to maybe talk up about that, because for what you're getting, for what people are paying, my pal pays it. As we know, there's a lot of people that phone the show that used to pay it as well, like Big Al in Australia, and probably Denver probably goes into it and stuff, and you pay quite a few quid. My pal pays up a few quid in Spain for it. He kept saying to me earlier, I might cancel it this year, and the Rangers have already went in and took over £200 out of his account. So, and you don't get value for money, I don't think, with that. I don't think that should be on 5 days a week, at least. That should be getting interviews with players. It should be doing training. There should be a lot more involved in Rangers TV for the money that people are shelling out for it. I think it's poor, and I think it's something that has to be looked at. And I think there has to be something that the support.
To get it better,
it has to get it better. Aye, 100%. It should be on. You should be looking forward to maybe what to watch that if you're subscribed to it, Ox, and it should be on at least 5 nights out of 7, even for 3, 4 hours, 5 hours, or whatever. You should get a bit of content where you get an all game on it or whatever as well, and you get players' interviews a bit more. Maybe what's happened daily basis at Ibrox, whatever. Anything to make it better. And it's down to Rangers Football Club to do that. Because I think for what people, the fans are paying for that, just for a match day game and stuff like that, I think the quality is pretty poor, to be honest.
Was that £220 for the season?
I think so. I think you said it was around about that, mate. Aye.
Just put it in perspective, mate. That's not even a pint a week.
I know, but it's not the point. It's still a lot of money.
So, is it?
Aye. As for what you're getting, you're only getting what you get to watch a game. You could jump down the pub and watch a game when you're abroad in Spain.
6 hours entertainment, maybe with a season, maybe more, maybe 100 hours entertainment.
Depends what your class is in. I don't see it.
Sorry.
I'll be honest, right? I'm at the game. I don't see it. Right? I've hardly ever seen Rangers TV in my life, but if it was on during the week and stuff, I'd probably tune in and watch it. And maybe they could stick an old game on, stick an ex-player in, talk about the game he was there that night, the game and whatever. Or just feed it with more content, show you stuff about Ibrox. Maybe, no, we've got loads, we've got the trophy, we've got the, you could take tours, show you a tour around Ibrox and stuff. You've got the museum now, we could have you in there showing you bits of the Hangme. I know we've all been in it and all that, but it's just extra content for maybe people abroad and whatever it pays a lot of money into it that don't. All you're getting is a match day, a game and match day, and that is it. And then it's off for the rest of the week. And I don't think that's good enough. The size of Rangers Football Club and the institution that we are, I think we should get more content in Rangers TV. That's just my opinion.
I think if you do more content, mate, the price will go up because it will cost more money to run, Hickey.
Oh, it can do. It can do. You've got overheads and what have you. But I know where the South Side's coming from. You just think you're fan abroad, basically. You're somebody that's immigrated to foreign shores, and the only way you get to see Rangers now is through Rangers TV. So if it's pulling in your audience, then it's just, again, it's a pricing thing that you've got to get right. So down to affordability again is what we say, Ox. You can obviously afford that, no problem, but there's other people out there that can't. So that's the only time that they get to see their team.
I just think if you think with all the TV packages and what people pay, in reality, if you were to say to anybody who can't watch the game, that they can watch all Rangers games. But you think about it, some months we maybe have 8 games on. Yeah, it's $2.50 a game.
Aye, but what about then the games are covered by Premier Sports or TNT or Sky Sport?
I think the foreign package will get you all Rangers games, mate. It's us in the UK pay for all that. Yeah.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah. All right, and that's
it can be a lot of money.
That's a whole other debate, mate. That's a whole other debate. If you need Premier Sports and BT Sports for Europe, Sky for that, that's a whole other debate, mate. And that's a lot more. People will be paying out more money for to watch that in the UK than the foreign supporters will be to watch the games. I don't know. I've said that. I made that statement, and I don't know if it'd be correct. Imagine that's all league games. I don't know about other things. I don't know if the other things come with it. But aye, the other packages, mate, and what we get for it in Scotland is, apart from messing the support about, and even the Archer fans, so let's be honest, I think the traditionalists would still rather watch a game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon than 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, AKA.
Oh, 100%. 100%. But as we see with TV, our competitions, your World Cup, everything's there to suit. I mean, even like say the World Cup there held in America. I heard the Americans and that were going off or not because the semi-finals were getting played at 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was like, well, who's your valued European audience here? You've got 3 teams for Europe, so that's how it was held at that time, so we could see 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night out here. Sorry, but that's who your valued audience is. No people in America who weren't involved, basically. But that's no usual though. Tournaments that get held on the other side of the world to try and compensate for what's the times are in Europe. But for me this year, that World Cup, I just didn't enjoy it at all, and no just the final.
Us in the time trains don't help, do they? It's all right. It's all right for you. You can get a kip at your work. Not everybody can.
No.
That van still got a bed in it, is it? For Pete's sake, man.
That's a different story, Southside. That's a different story.
I could have been growing tomatoes in it today.
See, well, we're just on the subject of moaning slightly, right? Have you heard some of the quality of the strips and all? I've heard a few people moaning and...
Poor Jim was on last week, yeah?
Uh-huh.
I think he was disappointed there wasn't any small mediums, mate, you know what I mean?
Well, aye.
But listen, I think if you have a a batch build and you get them out, you're going to have the odd failure, but I'm not sticking up for it when people pay their money, mate, and especially the amount of money they're paying for these taps, stroke, shorts and soaks. It's quite a bit of dough now, and the quality. You might not like the style, you might not like the design, but the quality should be right if I'm on the south side, yeah.
Aye, well, a couple of the boys were talking and they'd bought 2 and 3 strips for the family members, the kids, and they were saying that a lot of them have been looking a bit tacky now and a bit falling apart and badge no one right and stuff, and it's pretty shady. And they said for the money they're shelled out, they've been disappointed. Aye, it's okay, you can go back and get it changed, but it's to the point. If it's Castor or Umbro, whoever it is that's wanting to take the dairy, aye, for this, then a lot of supporters I've heard have been a wee bit disappointed with the quality of some of the strips, especially in vinyl for kids. And they're selling out quite a few quid. Some of them are getting 2 and 3 strips at a time. And I've heard the quality hasn't been that great, which disappoints me because it's something that shouldn't be happening. You should be decent when you get started. Now I get what you're saying. If you make thousands or hundreds of thousands of strips, you'll get the odd one that's it maybe come in and it's no finished properly, it's no him. But I've been hearing that some of the quality has been pretty shady, to be honest, which disappoints us because we should be better than that.
Get it right, mate. Just get it right. That's all we're asking for. If if the badge is in the right place and the strip's right, yeah, and you want it for particularly kids, you want to wear it, wash it, because that's what they're going to do, yeah.
Aye, of course. It's again, you go back to a kid there going to Ibrox for the first time, and they go into the Edmondson, the store in there, and they grab a strip, get their name on the back of it, and things like that. Your kids, they'd be excited and stuff. But if it's not the best of quality, well, you need to improve the quality. So I've got to be looking at myself in a couple of weeks when I'm heading through Glasgow Airport and see what it's like.
Yeah, you just keep away from the kids section. We don't want that.
Oh no, that's no your club, mate. That's no your
sorry,
club.
get mixed up. You were in the right shop when that happened, but you.
that was Southside in Primark.
But listen, we've been flitting with the strips and we've had problems in the past. But I think whatever manufacturer you had, we all maybe got our own preferences, and I think a lot of them will be similar. But I think when you have the odd one, it will not be right. But if there's too many no right, that's wrong. Yeah, I think, and if there isn't right, customer service should kick in. I think that's fair, Southsider.
Aye, there's a couple of people in the chat saying the strips aren't too good. They've obviously bought them as well. I'm just Lauren Shankland guy said the quality's been rotten, and some of them, and it's not right. It should be done right. We charge a lot of money. We want people to buy the strips. You want them to wear, and you want to be able to go in the washing machine and come back out and be able to stick them back on again. And it's just these wee things that probably gets missed, and it frustrates people. And I know a few of my pals have been annoyed with it. So they're saying, Ruby Lassie's got 2 and 3 strips, a couple of the boys have got strips and all that. And between them all, there's none of them all perfect. They've all been in, had a wash and all that, came out, and the quality's not been great. They said they're disappointed. But it's just the way it is. But so they're going to the shop and they're putting their money in and they're buying the strips. And it seems to be a problem, the badge and all that, the way they've done it and stuff. I don't know. I don't buy the strip anymore, to be honest. Too old for that carry on. But
you will be shortly, mate. You will be shortly.
Well, there could be, aye. But
things change.
But on the whole, I don't, and I haven't for quite a while. But aye, you just want things to be right, Ox. You want it to be right.
I don't think it's a lot to ask for, mate. I really don't. Just slow down and get things done properly. And if it means you don't have as many on the shelf, or you have to order it and it takes 10 days instead of a week, as long as it's right, it makes such a difference to people. And as I said, particularly with kids, AK, wear wash. That's what they want to do, innit?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You need to get your money's worth out it as well. So, but I thought Southside was more used to wearing the Broxy Bear outfit. That not about your size now, eh?
I'll let Southside reply to that. Southside?
Sorry, I missed that. What did he say?
I don't know, I wasn't listening, mate.
That's what I thought. I know. I missed that, mate. I did. I missed it. I was reading something. I missed it. I heard Broxy Bear.
Bear suit. A big bear suit. That's more your size.
You're giving away secrets now, you.
Yes, Mr. Kelly Senior wouldn't be happy.
Oh, I think he's heading for that Santa suit.
What are you talking about here?
I don't know what he's on. He's got HR on Tuesday, since it's Monday the day's a holiday. Stick him HR tomorrow.
He's on that laughing gas. At least he's entertaining. You get the phone lights open, take you.
I get some normal people on in here, will we?
He's off again. The heat must be getting to him. Anyway, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
The range strip expert has just come back, and that's Mr. Old School Blair, who he likes the odd strip. Well, he likes the odd hunters of strips. He has them in all shapes and sizes, and I don't know one he's no got. And he says the quality's all right. And yeah, but if you get a bad strip, you wash it. That's where the customer service should kick in, yeah. You know, but then my advice is keep them away from the tumble dryers, AK.
Aye, what's your setting?
Aye.
Aye, definitely. I read the label.
Yes, you know, and he likes the odd strip. There's a Old School Boy, and he's got the infant ones as well. That were Southside.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be asked to send that Old School. I mean, he thinks the Umbro badge is better than the Castore badge. Yeah, if he's not. What he's been watching.
Well, it's a more traditional football badge, isn't it?
Aye, but something still annoys me about that Umbro mob and that fat man to get something to do with it. I know, I still no convinced on that. He's sticking them in his shop and all that. We hadn't even announced it out in the shop shit and that. And,
I think it's part of the Castore, mate. I think it's part of Castore.
It's part of Castore, I know it's supposed to be, but something just doesn't smell right in there.
Yeah, a bit of advice for your Old School Blair. I don't know if he's talking about hair here or a football strip. Strictly no conditioner and hang dry. Yeah.
Aye.
Is that his undies he's talking about?
I don't know. They might need a double wash. But strictly no conditioner. There you go. Every day's a school day. Right, okay. So back to the first team. Look, I think it's fair to say there's a lot of things bubbling. Southside.
Aye, we've got to try and get some players out the door. I believe probably they'll try to get Raskin and Connor Barron. It looks like it's going to be leaving. Don't know what the fee will be for him, but anything over 3 million is good bit of business. I know I've heard the daft money, 10 million and stuff, and listen, if we can get as much as that, it'd be glorious, but I think he's going to really struggle to get in the team this year with the additions that were brought in and the positions that they're coming in, so I'd expect him to go this week, and I think the club are hoping he's going to go this week as well and try and get that finalised, and I believe they're trying to make sure that Raskin deal gets done as well. And then we can start to bring in another couple of players. I know we're probably bringing another midfielder because I believe he's sitting in the wings waiting to come in. And I think we're probably going to have to look at centre defence. I think we need to go and get another couple of centre halves. Permanent signings, I would think. I would like. Obviously, we're still to address the right-hand side unless maybe Ant-Man reinvents himself or Finlay Curtis becomes a regular on the right, or the gas man, whoever. We've got a few wingers there that somebody could go and take that place and make it their own, should their form be decent enough and they're consistent enough. Or maybe one or two could fight for the position early the season, and they might help each other, maybe put their performances up a bit. Otherwise, they might go out and strengthen there as well. But I think centre-back I think we're a bit overloaded now in the midfield. I think there could be one or two others. Obviously, Basrami, I think, will end up going. Lyle Cameron's another one I think will probably go, although I know Derek McInnes quite likes him. And he's looked pretty sharp in training for what the wee clips and bits and bobs and things I've been told. But I think I don't see him starting in an 11, and I don't see him making an impression for a season enough to keep him. So I think probably he'll get emptied as well. Then the one I thought might have went that surprised me at the moment is Diamande, because I thought he would have been one that we might have looked to move on, but obviously people need to want you. And I don't know if any clubs have really been in seriously looked at him. I know Ross McCausland's going out the door this week. Somebody's come back on loan and just came back out the door. But I think we still need a couple of the first team players that played last year. I think we need to try and move a couple of them on ups.
Yeah, you've got Danilo Cifuentes, the guys that we forgot about who were still playing, and you hopefully get there. I think Barjami might fall into that category unless he relaunches himself under the new gaffer, AK. And as I keep saying it, getting them out the doors, the guys that are on the fringes is the hardest bit, yeah, because they've not done anything to sell themselves. At least Conan Barron, he was playing in the team, got injured, and came back in the team. At least you've seen that he's been in the team and playing. Other ones haven't been playing, so how do you move them on? How do you get any money? It's a puzzle.
It's a quandary that we've yet to solve, and it's been ongoing for a number of years now. That dead wood that they've been trying to get rid of, they always keep going back. See, when I see this, either out on loan with the option to buy, no, you want an obligation to buy. The way they stung us with Cortes.
The other team weren't going to sign that, mate.
I know, well, we did with Cortes. No, now we're stuck with him. I know, but there's a lot of names that Southside mentioned there that I think the support would like to see them go, just to refresh the squad and open up spaces for potential buys, because it's all very well we've got 6 in there now, and it's no a big outlet that we've put out there. But we've got other guys there that's in the pipeline with Dragicevic and the boy Dal, and who knows, Lewis Ferguson. But we can't keep spending out there and getting players off the books to release funds to potentially fund them coming in. So there's a lot of business to be done yet in the next few weeks. And let's not forget, it's no the season or the transfer window doesn't just shut in a couple of weeks. We've still got another 6-7 weeks or something to go, Ox. But every week that passes is important for business and how we're going to shape the squad when we're hitting the likes of September and that to go forward there.
Listen, we drew our first 2 league games of the season, didn't we? Games are important. I think it's important that the fixtures are relatively kind to us at the start. I want to, after 2 games, I want to be sitting with 4 more points than we had last season. As simple as that. So it's important, and obviously you can't do all the business because it takes 2 sides it takes 2 teams and 2 people to tango. Southside, if you're after somebody, the other team have to say yes. The player has to accept it. It takes more than 2 agents and other people that's involved in management teams in modern football. But I want us to be the best version we can by next Friday, mate. And then the following Thursday's important. Then the league game and the Sunday's important. Then the following Thursday's important. They come thick and fast, mate. There's 4 games and you're only a few days into the season. And they're all important, mate. I'm not saying you can't win the league in the first 2 games, but you can make it harder for yourself as last year panned out.
I know, you can see how quickly sometimes the support changes. You lose a game or 2 and things change, and the factor that you're looking for wins and that, and you see how it starts, and then people start getting negative thoughts in their head and all that, and they only drop 3 points and stuff. It's a marathon in the league, and you can see that we need to get after a good start. We want a good start. And Dundee United will be that hard though when it comes in the league. And then, as you say, the games are coming thick and fast in Europe. And you're looking to get that one done. The fixtures are pretty favourable. I think the way we've got them coming up, I think it should be enough that this team should be able to bed in. We've got enough experience in the squad that should some of them still be there to start the game and make sure that we can navigate it. The new players maybe take a wee bit of time to settle in, but hopefully we'll get after a flyer. We need to make sure that we're winning straight away. And it starts starts 2 weeks, 2 weeks on Friday there. So that's how quickly it's coming round, Ox. But no, looking forward to it, and so should the players. They're at a new club. They're there today. They know the job that's involved. It's obviously Derek McInnes has set his stall. He's no daft. He knows the club, and he knows what it takes, what type of player he needs in the door, and hopefully we've recruited the right type of players. Ox.
Aye, listen, I'm not saying every season's perfect to start with, but we want the framework there, and we want to give the manager the best chance of succeeding. We don't want to begin in with we've only got 2 centre-halves, one's injured, and you've got people not playing out of position, and we leave ourselves open, we don't get a result, pressure mounts. We don't need that. We're looking to just get a solid start and win the games we should win.
Oh, 100%, and the South Side says there, the fixture list is reasonably kind. Away to Tannadice isn't the easiest start, but you're not going to get an easy start because we're always going to be away from home. The new, with no one in the league, so we put ourselves in that position. But Hibs at home and then St Mirren at home, and you've got the 2 European ties crammed in between them, so we want to be hitting the ground running. So even just this week it's coming up with St Etienne and West Ham coming to Ibrox. It's a chance for mere minutes and legs, a chance to impress, get a good vibe around about Ibrox, the connection between the support, the manager, the players, everybody as one, and just let's have a right good go at it. But listen, it's all about results. You keep saying that, Ox, and you're right. Football is a results-driven game. Last year they were doing in friendlies at Bruges, and there just wasn't a good vibe about Ibrox for the whole Russell Martin appointment, and I think the support just weren't on side with that. Well, this year I think it's a bit different with McInnes, and the players that he's bringing in and looking to bring in. I think there's a lot of positivity about Ibrox now, but there's, as I said before, there's a lot of business to get done, and hopefully that'll take care of itself in the next 2-3 weeks with ins and outs.
Right, listen, I'm not expecting there's a lot of business done by next Friday, mate. I'm a realist. I'm a realist, but I think we're particularly short in the centre-half area. That's me no classing Stirling and McCrory centre-halves, if that makes sense.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Listen, Godfrey and Fernandez is going to be your 2 starters, but you need something underneath them. And you don't want to be relying on Sterling or McCrory or that to go in and play centre-half, because that's not their natural position. So I think McInnes will be on the ball with that, and something should be in the pipeline, hopefully.
I hope so. We'll see where it takes us, and I hope. Listen, anybody's get yourself a link, Ibrox. I know it's, people are away on holiday, etc. Can't make the game. We understand all that. Hopefully, it's going to be. And it looks as if it's going to be a nice night Wednesday night. Chance to get a line, take the wins, take the family. Not too heavy in the pocket. Still, as we always say, it can always be better. Even if it's just a couple of quid, it helps for some people. A chance, let's get there. I'm not saying it's going to be a full house, but it's a chance to start to see the Rangers at the start of the Derek McInnes era. Southside.
Aye, 3 seasons. Like you say, it's a chance to take the kids and the family and get to watch the players. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of changes, and they'll probably do 2 different teams and basically are the 45 each half. But you're looking forward to just a decent game, and you like to hopefully bring the kids. They go away, if it's their first game, they go away with a Rangers victory. They've came to Ibrox and they've seen a victory, and they can go up the road. And if they're going to the game on the Sunday against West Ham, it's another game to look forward to. But it's just about bedding the players in and getting them used to, hopefully, getting into some type of formation. They might change it a couple of times, I don't know what his setup will be, but they'll do a 4-4-2, or whether they'll do a 4-4-1-1, or whether they'll do a 3-5-2. It'll be interesting. McInnes, he likes to play with wingers, but sometimes he likes maybe a wee bit narrow at times, and also it'll be interesting to see how he sets the team up and who's asked to play where. But it's not my type of games, really, friendlies, to be honest. But I'm going, and hopefully it's going to be a good wee night out and just meet a few people, maybe get a few beers before it. Like you say, it's a nice day, nice weather, and it's a worthwhile wee day out.
Aye, obviously. It's not always easy for people to travel midweek, for a bounce game. Let's be honest, that's what it is. It's a glorified training session in the UK. But it's a chance for some people who can't always get to maybe get also. So take the opportunity, get there, watch the Rangers, support the club. We'll see where it takes us. I get it. It's not the business end, DK, but it's important, and people are looking forward to seeing the team, the new players. I think, as I said, I think there could be maybe at least one on the Wednesday, maybe getting introduced. Don't know if we'll go on the pitch, but you never know, AK.
Aye. Again, I'll be going to the game myself this week for the 2 of them, so I'm looking forward to them. Seeing the new players and also welcoming our new manager, and he wants to go off to a good start. He wants to give a good impression about his team, because he's going to be starting his personality across it. So the quicker he gets the wins under the belts, if we play well, score a few goals, nice night, good atmosphere at Ibrox. It's all just about good vibes and everybody buying into it. St Etienne, we've got a bit of history there between the 2 clubs, obviously with the bike and everything in the trophy room. So it's new opponents for us. French team, I expect them to be decent. French teams are always kind of good, comfortable on the ball, and you never know, they might have a couple of players that catch the eye as well. But no, I look forward to it. As you say, this weather. This weather's been good this week, so I don't know what that was.
We might find out shortly.
Shut myself up.
Now, what's your language, mate? Be professional. If you can't do that, yeah.
Keep myself then.
Aye, listen, mate. What's the netting? The biggest draw? What did you get in world football? If you take away all the top leagues, mate, all the teams, most of them are just the only ones that will be back early is ones with European qualifiers. I think the English Premier League's about 5 weeks away from starting, mate. Yeah. So some teams and players will not be back yet, depending. There'll be European ties and what their domestic football dictates, but the top leagues that maybe think they're going to have decent runs in the World Cup, Scotland could have started the end of June this season.
Aye, certainly.
But aye, at West Ham, there's always a bit of spice when we play an English team. And up until this season, you'd have been playing I know they've had their relegations in the past, but they're an English team that won a European trophy outside.
Aye, listen, it's a couple of good players. They're a decent team. They're in the Championship now, unfortunately for them. The only player I liked that they signed and was that Jared Bowen. He played in the lower leagues, down the lower leagues, and certain teams took a chance on him, and then he went to I'm trying to think now. It's come out. I knew who they went to in the Championship. Anyway, it'll come back to me. And then obviously West Ham. took a chance on him.
He was way, I think.
Hull.
He was way,
Hull. He went to Hull, then I think he went for 20 million actually to West Ham. But that boy scored a lot of goals down the leagues, and then he made himself an England international even there. He got a few games for England. I think he was a tidy player. Always good ability. West Ham are a big club. They've got a big support. I don't know if they'll bring a big support up now. I'd like to think they will. I think Rangers are now. I think they're looking about 30,000 tickets sold at the moment. On the Sunday, I believe it's round about that figure. I think for Wednesday night, I think the figure's about 19 to 20,000 at the moment. So there's quite a bit of difference there. But listen, it's holiday time for people. It's a Glasgow Fair. A lot of people on holiday and stuff like that as well. But should you be able to go along and you get a chance to buy a ticket, then for sometimes maybe people that can't get out to Ibrox quite a bit and don't maybe get tickets for certain games, it's a chance for you to go along. There's a lot of tickets still available, which I think there is, to go along, and let's say it's priced at £20 for adults, which isn't the worst. And it's just a quarter to kick off.
You looked at the West Ham game. I haven't looked at the seats. Was that 30,000 Rangers? If you like Rangers tickets sold, or was that in total, mate?
I heard they sold 31,000, but I think that might have been the David Rangers, to be honest.
Right, because I think they'll bring minimum the European support up West Ham. Minimum. And yeah.
Aye, Middlesbrough broke quite a few up last pre-season, didn't they?
It's a bit closer, Middlesbrough, but I think West
Ham.
Aye.
I think they maybe bring at least a couple of thousand, you would think,
I would think so, mate. I would think so. But listen, it'll be a good test. That'll be a decent test for us, and we could see last year even when we played Middlesbrough, we were scratching our head, but we were scratching our head more at our own team rather than the golfing class, because we could see the disorganisation. Hopefully Southside will not go at that this year, and I don't think we will with Derek.
Nah, listen to Manny Fernandez as well, done a wee interview and said things became a bit clearer to him, and he's been speaking to Derek McInnes and he's been pointing out his weaknesses and what he's expecting from him and stuff. And he said he's going to take it all on board, so it looks like he's talking to the players quite a bit. I think they need some of them, they need to be outspoken to, obviously, but I think he'll give them that confidence. A lot of ex-players that have played under Derek McInnes have all said he's a great man manager, and a lot of them would run through a brick wall for him, and they said he makes you feel like that. And even when you've not been in the team for a few weeks, you still feel part of it. Apparently, that's how he makes you feel, and gives you hope that you will come back into his plans and into his team. It's only for a short time that you're out, and you probably do get a chance to come back into his team. So he seems to be a good man manager. I think sometimes players need that, need a wee arm around them, need a wee bit of help, a wee bit of speaking to, and show the manager cares. And maybe managers are a wee bit abrupt and don't. I mean, you've seen the way Advocate acted when he was at Ibrox and stuff like that in the past, although he was successful. He wasn't hands-on with the players at all in any way, shape or form. He was a bit dismissive of the players. But hopefully Derek will bring that feel-good factor to the club, and players will go out and try that extra 10% for the manager. And even when we're in the tough times, hopefully there'll be players in there, and the type of characters that he's bringing into the squad will be there to drive the team forward. No wanting people slacking, set the standards in training, make sure the standards are kept in training, and nobody slacks in training, and they're all pulling together. And I think, and hopefully, I think that's the type of atmosphere, and that's what we'll be getting about the training groundhogs.
Get yourself a mute, lads, because we're going to have a tune.
I don't know if you can see what the Rangers really mean to me in these last few years. I've been afraid that we might drift away, so I've been telling old stories and singing songs that made me think about where we came from, and that's the reason why I feel so very proud today. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers, you're everything I've ever had. We won 9 in a row, and I'm still dreaming of Brian Laudrup and Trevor Stephen. Big Marvin Andrews said keep believing. Davy Cooper on the wing, and we remember Gaza with great affection. The day the helicopter changed direction, and Jimmy Baxter was pure perfection. Super Ali scores again. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers, you're everything I've ever had. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers, you're everything I've ever had. Without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, but especially for our good friend Dale there, yes?
Oh, you'll be singing away at that.
He might have preferred to take the blanket from the bedroom south side of the day, yeah?
I think you did take a blanket for the bedroom.
Yeah. No more. Well, that's enough, eh?
Aye, better just leave it at that.
Anyway, right, okay, so look, potentially we'll get people leaving the club, French players, but if we look at our first team squad, at the moment, the two midfielders, we'll go to replace them because we need the people in there because we've not got, if, for the want of a better word, we're short in first team midfielders. We're not short in midfielders at the club, AK, but we're short in so-called first teamers unless there's going to be a bit of rehabilitation for some.
As you say, the numbers are certainly there, but the quality's maybe not there, particularly if we are losing with Barn and Raskin, as Southside says that we are. And I expect we probably are, but we'll be getting some cash in for the two of them to fund whoever else has got to come in. So, say there's interesting times ahead. He's got to up the quality, but he's got to trust the players, McInnes. And I think when he's looking in for, he's part of the league, managing Aberdeen, managing Kilmarnock, managing Hearts last year. He'll see deficiencies in the team, and he'll know, that the players that he's bringing in. He's worked along with Shanklin before, obviously, McCrory and Devlin. last year as well. The other three, you know, Pandur, Neil, Godfrey, he's got to formalise relationships with them. But we've made an assessment on a lot of the players before he comes in. But obviously, he can't go in there with a blank mind either. He's got to give certain ones a chance. There he says that Devlin, when he came in for Kilmarnock, he says, geez, you're a better player than I thought you were, kid. You know, so somebody might catch the eye in pre-season or their training or their work ethic. Wee Lyle Cameron in that Blake test, for instance. I don't know whether he's got a future there or no. I like the wee guy, but he's maybe no fitting into his system. Asgard is another one with question marks. Where does he fit in the system? You know, and there's other players. So he's got to make professional decisions for the better for the Rangers, for him and for the player. But he's got to be honest with him as well, Ox.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult for a new manager comes in. He's not going to throw them all under the bus because he doesn't know when he's going to have to go to that well south side. Yeah, you know.
Well, the games are coming thick and fast. The first game, league game's July. We've got to the very start of September, whether it be the 1st or the 3rd, whatever it'll be, to make sure we've got our squad that we can put together. So he's going to have a number of weeks to have a look at it and see what he thinks himself. He'll have an idea. Obviously, the new players we're bringing in, I don't think Cammy Devlin will start every game. I don't. I think he's been brought in, but because he knows him, he knows what he'll do. But I don't see him starting every single week, being a total starter. But he'll be there to fight for place, and he'll be there to play in certain games and spell a player in the early doors. You want to maybe move a couple of players about until something settles down, and then you'll have an idea of your general 11 to 12, 13 players that you'll probably really trust and you'll really want to start. And you'll have ones that'll just be outside it that you can bring in and say, well, I can give him a chance and he should want to fight for his place. So the squad will start to evolve. So I don't think it's too major than now that we're a wee bit overloaded in the middle of the park. It'll be down to him to pick. And you'll see it against Dundee United. It'll probably be the team. For instance, if Cammy Devlin doesn't start against Dundee United, there's a chance he might start away in the European game because that might be a type of game, but he maybe want him in the team. May want to try and hold the midfield or have somebody digging in there or be winning the ball back like he said he's good at and pass it on to players to go and play. Certain games he'll decide the style and how he's going to go about it, and that will dictate to who starts. But we need creative players. We need a couple of players with creativity in the team or coming into the team going forward. We need that. We need to have goals from midfield contributing. Same up front, he's going to mix and match that a wee bit. Should they force die, then he'll mix and match how he sees fit. So it'll be interesting, but it's down to McInnes to sort it out, get a team that's winnable and can win games on the Parkocks. But hopefully we've enough talent round about that want to, that'll feel that they're a wee bit annoyed that they never got to start and they want to come in and improve a point, and that's what you want. They're more battling for places and eager to play.
That competition for places is good. You know, it's getting the balance right. But the trouble is that if you've got these players hanging about and you're trying to move them on, it's no ideal. And it's a complex job for them. I've got sympathy for football managers at this time of year. You know, all clubs, and we're only interested in your club, but it's difficult. You know, you say, right, I don't fancy him. But the guy doesn't get his move. You've still got him on the 2nd of September. You've got to deal with him, and you might have to use him. So it's a complex, and it's a difficult weave, yeah.
Aye, listen, it's football management now. You can't just deal with a squad of 14, 15 players and expect them to play with the amount of games that if you get a deep run in Europe, for instance, you could be 20 or 30 odd games, and that's on top of a 30 odd game league season plus 8 games in the cup. You know, so all of a sudden you're talking 50, 60 games. See, a squad of 15 wouldn't be able to cope with that. So you've got to have that larger squad. But you're right. But I think that's where McInnes is actually very good. Has been a manager, listening to Cammy Devlin and watching previous interviews. He said that Kilmarnock, even when guys aren't getting first team action, he's still good at keeping them involved in the squad. You know, and saying, you just bide your time here. You get your opportunity, you take your opportunity, and that sort of thing. He rewards players that plays well for him, that he trusts. They keep the jersey until, you know, they get a bit off form or an injury or whatever. But it's a squad game now. It's not just about your first 11 and ignore the other 20 guys that's on the sidelines, you know. But his time served now. I heard the Old Bird the other night. It's a good word to use. His time served in the SPFL. So, and he knows the club that he's come into. He knows the demands, the expectations, but he wants to be a winner. You've got to give yourself that security with the support. You know, hitting the ground running, getting off to a winning start, and then people, all the doubters, there will be doubters out there in our support. It's not everybody that's on side, but the more you win, the more, you know, they get convinced, aye, this is the right guy, you know. So, but it's collective effort for management, players, recruitment, you know, all levels of the club, and the support's got to be there as well, cheering the team on for the sidelines.
Yes, there will be people who don't fancy Derek McInnes, but there'll be X amount of people who don't fancy. It doesn't matter what manager we get for different reasons. Yeah, it just feels so much different for this time last year. Southside.
Well, it's got to the point that we've been through that many managers, if we're honest. And some championed him maybe a manager or two ago before we wrote on other managers. A few callers did phone up and say they fancied Derek McInnes. Whether they'd have done the job at the right time then with the old board and stuff there, money that was available for certain players and whatever, you don't know. But this board and these new group of owners are certainly helping out and funding the club, which will probably give them a better chance to do something. And it's down to him, and he knows the club inside out. He's been a player. He knows what success is about. He knows what it takes to be a Rangers player. You need to have a type of mentality. Hopefully, the players that we bring in have that right type of mentality, and it's down to him to make sure they play a decent style of football and make sure that we get games won out and out of the line. And whether it's a bit scrappy to start with or no, and we're still winning, I don't really care. We need to get off to a winning start. We can't be chasing at all at any point. We need to be on the front foot. There's a lot of changes. Hearts have lost probably their top striker and their manager and one of their best midfielders, and we've got the three of them. And that mob across the cities and this area and all, when you look at the state of them, what they've got to do. So we're slowly building the blocks, but we need to make sure that we get the hammer down right at the start of the season and get a good start. That's what we need to do. And not be looking back and checking, no look above us. We need to be looking down all the time, hopefully. So Dundee United becomes the first hurdle. McInnes knows he doesn't want to put a job. He knows he's a blue nose. He's a supporter first and foremost. And he knows he doesn't want to be losing his job. So he knows what he's going to have to get the maximum out of this playing squad and players. He probably believes in his own ability as a manager. And it's down to the players to do the work and make sure when it comes game time that we're winning. And I mean, listen, we had Ant-Man, I seen he'd done an interview there, Oxen, I read about him, and he said last season took him a wee bit by surprise, the size of the club. He'd never been at a club this big, the expectation levels that was on him. He fully understands it now. And now he's disappointed he was hampered with injuries, and he's looking to make an impact this year. So that's another player that could come out and reinvent himself.
Maybe.
Who wasn't really gave a chance, but he's in a wide position, Ox, where we're not really replaced anybody at the moment, so it could become. I mean, he's got ability. He came with a decent record, the assists and stuff. It's about confidence and getting regular run of games, and he could be a player that might reinvent himself. Because McInnes does like wide players, you know. He's always played with wide players in all the teams he's managed.
Well, if you just take Ant-Man stand alone, only my opinion, AK, what I've seen, he's not getting into Rangers first team. But things are things have changed. And if the boy gets in the team, does the business, and keeps the jersey, fair play to him. What I've seen, I don't see it happening, but things can change, mate. New personnel, different thing, mate. Better luck. You don't get injured, you know.
Aye, well, it's an area of the team where we desperately need somebody to fill that area. You know, it was a problem area, not just last season, but in season before. So, and man might recognise that now, that I need to get the finger out here. I need to get my head down, make a good impression with the manager, reset again, and hopefully we see why we brought him to the club in the first place. I mean, I think he was Eredivisie. He was top goal contributor with goals and assists for Vita's Arnhem, was it? So there is a player there. We know that, but it's a position of the team that we don't have an overload of players desperate to play that position. You know, we've got the wee man Finlay Curtis, who has been used sparingly there in one of the friendlies, but he looks to be more comfortable coming off the left. And last year we had Gassama and you had Ant-Man, Asgard out there. You'd Bizrami coming in every now and again. So there is positions within the team, within the squad, that is up for grabs. So it's up to the player to grab the opportunity and make it his own. So you never know. Ant-Man could be the guy that, you know, raise the eyebrows and say, that boy can play after all, eh?
Aye. Listen, I wish everybody success. I can only critique what I've seen up this now. And I remember again, we discussed at Ibrox Southside, and we had a difference of opinion. You know, people see it differently, but you can only critique what you see. But if somebody's carrying or they're out of form or their confidence is low and somebody reinvents them, you never know what can happen, mate. Eh?
It's not always a player usually can reinvent himself. It's a clean slate. He likes wingers, and if he stays fit and he shows anything, I've watched wee snippets for their training camp in Spain, and he was certainly putting the ball in the back of the net for wide positions in a couple of the clips that we've seen. It's only snippets and bits and bobs, but if he can stay injury free and the manager wants to start him and gives him that bit of confidence and talks to him and gives him the encouragement, he might go out and start playing. He only started 8-9 games last season, I think, something like that, which is pretty poor considering we spent about £3 million. But listen, there's always a player usually can reinvent himself. Now, whether it's Ant-Man or whether it's somebody else, we'll find out in time. Every single player that didn't do too well last year will know or be sold in this transfer window, and some will be given chances to go out and play, and some might come good. But he's certainly going to look to the ones that are assets or ones that are attracting attention. And if the money's going to be right and he sees it, then I think we'll get rid of him. And it looks like Raskin and Barron are the two at the moment. Obviously, for lesser money, Ross McCausland's on his way out the door. But apart from that, as we've said, there'll be a few. Bizrami, probably Lyle Cameron, as much as he showed up pretty well in the training videos and stuff. And again, we could be wrong with that. Maybe he might be one that doesn't show attention, and you can get on a bit part player as a sub and impact games, and you don't know how it'll be. But I wouldn't have him done as a starter. I think there'll be the amount of players that we're bringing into the midfield and have brought in at the moment. I can see a few starting before somebody like him. But you never know, Ox, and it'll be done. Your team needs a shape, it needs a water carrier, it needs certain things. You can't just go out and say, oh, that's that midfield, that's how we bought, and they're all going to work. Sometimes they don't. You need to have a wee bit of balance. So it'll be interesting, but it's all food for thought for Derek McInnes. You know, as we're hoping as a support is that we just get after a winning start, Ox.
Aye. Listen, this is going to seem, I want Rangers to win every game. But if after the two league games and the two European ties, if we're through the European time, I've won my first two league games. Any combination does me. If we drew away from home in Europe, won the second leg 3-0 at Ibrox, won the two league games, with some month coming up, mate, and all of a sudden we can win that. AK, and all of a sudden you've got 9 points on the board instead of, what was it, 3 after 3 games last year? Yeah, so there you go. You're 6 to the plus. I don't think that's extreme, mate. And obviously, if you get that start, momentum starts building. through a European round further, you might be looking at a wee bit more different level of player. Let's double the price because we need all the money in. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Carry on, AK.
It's the feel-good factor, Ox. But it's up to the players and the manager and that to go out there and get their results. As you say, it's baby steps now, but whatever we're getting the support in the first few weeks of the season, we can make our mind up quickly, as we've all found out. So McInnes is under no illusions. He knows what he's walking into. He's quoted as saying that he wants to enjoy his time at Ibrox, but the only way you can do that is by winning. So he's under no illusion, So he'll be telling the players, the new players, what to expect. To have a good life at Rangers. It's the best club in the world to play for, but it can also be the worst club in the world if things aren't going well, as we found out last year. So it's out of them, and it's up to the business is obviously weeks away from getting completed ins and outs, as we've said, but it's up to McInnes. It's his job now to get a winning team out in the park now. As you say, Tannadice away is not an easy one. If you can come away with there with a victory, and then you've got 2 home games after that before I think it's a trip to Aberdeen. The European games are there, so McInnes has got a lot to prove, and he's got a lot to improve on. And I wish him all the best myself. We get behind our manager and then see where it takes us.
Aye.
Something else I noticed, Doc, sorry, just a wee bit off topic. If you actually look at the last 11 seasons when we've been playing that mob for across the city, it's usually played between end of August and start of September early. But if you noticed, I've put it back to the 20th of September, which is 7 games in the league. Usually it's played before that, apart from 3 times it hasn't been out to 11.
Would you suggest it's maybe because some teams have got qualifiers? Yeah. And then
looks that way because it seems to be.
Are you saying there's something underhand outside?
It's just patterns. That's a pattern. There's been patterns in 2017, 2018. Obviously, it get put back because there was a Champions League qualifier, believe it or not. And then obviously we got that one. It was well late in September because they wanted to put a crowd in their stadium, if you remember. In 2021, it was nearly into October, wasn't it, before we got to play them. And this year, just so happens that there's a wee qualifier coming up, and it's been put back to the 20th of September. I don't know how that computer can work that out, man. It's pretty talented, that computer, I must admit.
Well, I've said it before, mate. If you've done the fixtures with the final season, 1 plays 12, 11 plays 10, mate, then you look at any clashes you've got, all these things disappear. AK?
Oh, there's very suspicious minds about here tonight.
We're caught in a trap, mate. We're caught in a trap.
Aye, and I can't walk out. But amazing that, isn't it? They've got a wee qualifier coming up for a change, and all of a sudden the games are getting pushed back because their business isn't exactly been enthralling and coming 10 a penny. But that's up to them. The vibes are good about our club now, and let's see where it takes us. But the clouds are gathering our bite.
Oh well. I'll say it again. Oh well.
Oh well.
I thought they might have been putting it off because I had to get it done up for the Commonwealth Games again, but I had to read too much into that. That would never happen. They'd do a stadium and all the approaches it for the opening of the Commonwealth Games and no use it for any sport in it. That would never happen, would it? Wouldn't it happen? Yeah? No?
Nah, surely no. Even though I'm doing a historical church just to get it out the road and put new paving stones out.
Queen Elizabeth Way, yeah. They must like that.
Aye.
They don't do irony, but that would never happen, would it? You would do somewhere up for a sporting competition that wasn't being used for sport. Would it, AK?
Well, the truth never lies.
I can't believe that. They would use taxpayers' money for that, would they? Nah, that wouldn't happen. Any comments, boys, no?
We know what it is, innit? Don't want to say too much here, you know what I mean? Because, you know, they like listening into the show and all that, obsessed, and the obsession is pouring at them, man, you know? So, don't want to say something that might get us into trouble, but...
That would never happen, would it? Anyway.
No, usually.
Listen, we're moving into the last half hour of the show. Just your takes, the draw, transfers, and where we're with the manager. I think I've nothing to back this up, and I said it the other night on the show, AK. I just feel in my gut that we're in a better place with Derek than we were with Russell Martin. And I'm not having a go at Russell Martin when I say that. I just don't think it was a good fit. As simple as that, yeah?
I think you've got satisfactory reasons to find that conclusion. There was a lot of doubt there, and a lot of don't like that, doesn't smell right. And then the players that were coming in didn't know the club, didn't know the league, and there was a lot of factors like that. Probably made our squad weaker rather than stronger going into the season. But now McInnes is time served. Good word for Albert the other night, and players that he's bringing in. He knows the character of the player. They're trustworthy. He can trust them to do a job. They know the club, know their position. And it's just about building a squad that's satisfactory to, go on all fronts. It's not just the league. It's not just Europe. The cups are important as well. And we've been trophy the last 2 seasons, which is unacceptable. So McInnes is there to bring as much silverware as we can. So once the juggernaut not gets going, hopefully there'll be red, white and blue ribbons on trophies at the end of the season. That's what we're all hoping for.
Yeah. Let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Hi. Your take on it? Just one's not a good fit and one feels a good fit. Only time will tell. You've got to get the results outside yet.
Well, Leicester will soon find out as the season kicks off. They'll soon know. Listen, I told you I met him in Bruges, man, and we had a conversation, and I don't think many managers that in my lifetime that I remember would have gave us 15-20 minutes of his time, which he did, and fair play to him. Him and the backroom staff, and had a chat with us. I think managers would have just said hello and basically tell you, she'll see you later and cheerio. But in fairness, he asked a lot of things and how we travelled there and how many years we've been following Rangers, and he had a conversation with us, and then he was a wee bit, as I told you, he was a wee bit exclusive, talking about certain players, told us that Iggerman come back overweight and all that, which I thought was a bit of a surprise. And he said some players in there don't get it, as I told you back then, and I told you what I said to him. I said to him, well, they need to get it, and if they don't, then if you don't sort that out, you'll be out the door quicker than them. Said, when Ibrox turns on you, you'll be out the door along with the rest of the managers. And they went, oh, we'll get it right, don't worry about it, we'll sort it. And then we get battered that night, 6-1 or something, in Europe. So, he talked a good game. He just didn't grasp the enormity, and I think players didn't grasp what they was wanting them to do. And if you talk to a few ex-professional players, they grasp it straight away for managers when they come in the door. Kenny Miller said the same thing after 3 days. Pedro Casino will never work. So players know. McInnes is tried and tested. He's been in the league. He's a man manager. A lot of ex-players talk highly of him. I think he'll give the players the confidence. I think his interviews will be decent. I think a lot of support sometimes maybe switch off and don't want to listen to certain managers. I used to like listening to Gerrard. And then certain other managers come in, I just need to listen to him again. Wasn't my cup of tea, but I think McInnes will be interesting. I think he's going to get a hefty ban, actually. I think he's going to be sitting in the stand for a while. But that aside, he gets the club, he gets what we're all about, and he gets the support. He's been a supporter of the sale. I've been seen him travel to watch Rangers in the past when he was a manager at St Johnstone and stuff like that. So he gets the club. He wants to be successful. He's not going to want to be a failure, or he knows about the door. And that's nobody wants to be. He wants to have successful times at Rangers Football Club. And the only way to do that is to win and make sure you're winning. And he knows that, we know that, and I think it's time that as a support we get back to winning ways, and the support will back the club 100% as long as we get back to winning ways, and it's long overdue that we get back to winning ways, Hawks.
Aye, momentum's a big thing, mate. We came with runs, we've done some things, and we got things right at times last season, but we never had any sustained momentum. We had a decent run, but no a great run, a long period of time. January was about the best under Danny Rowe, if I think back, and you felt as if the momentum was just going to keep rolling, but there was always just something seemed to be missing, AK.
Aye, well, there's mitigating circumstances, I think, in how the season petered out, but what's done's done, and we can't look back now. We've just got to look forward and see where it takes us. But there was an opportunity there to win the league, Hawks. I'll say that.
I agree, mate. But listen, we've been joined by Carl. Evening, Carl. How we doing,
Good evening,
mate?
lads.
How we doing, mate? Yeah, good to hear.
All right. I didn't know you were on tonight. I've got a copy of your shows a couple of weeks ago, when you were on, because there's no planning it, things. So you just use back on for good, well, for good, for the season.
Monday, Wednesday, post-match show on Wednesday night with the Cincinnati game, back on Friday night, and then we go full time.
He's back on overtime and that then.
No, we don't. Mr. Fox will play you treble, quadruple time. He doesn't mind it, mate.
Oh, that's great of him. I'm looking forward to seeing Cincinnati again, I'll tell you that.
Well, I think
you know
51.
You know where I was at the game. I was at home and away. And you know where the bike came from?
I've got an idea, but go on then.
The factory, Peugeot factory, is in Cincinnati, and where they make the bikes, or where they used to.
And they had a connection with the club, and then they gave us it, yeah?
Aye.
They went on. They got to the final that year.
I know. The only real memory I've got of that game, because the wine's quite cheaper in France, was Michel Platini,
Aye.
We were being unlucky with some of the teams that we've met in Europe. I remember Kaiserslautern and that other, what was his name, Miroslav Klose, tearing us apart,
Yeah, they battered us, Carol. Kaiserslautern.
Aye. I was at the games and all. I enjoyed myself. I'm looking forward to the season, sir. Thank God the World Cup's on the road.
It's done now, mate. You just have to...
Oh, it's alright. We done only 3 embarrassing games,
I didn't. It panned out better than I thought it would, mate. I didn't think they'd score a goal, if I'm honest.
But it was an own goal.
Aye. I think so, mate. But, listen, mate, what's your gut and how it's gone at the moment, mate? What's your take?
I don't get all excited about managers and that, because I've watched some of the podcasts, and you think they're walking water.
Somebody's got the show on or the telly on.
That's not me.
Right. Carry on, Cal.
Sometimes I think some of the other podcasts, you would think Derek McInnes could walk in water, and we'll have to wait, because let's face it, he's an untried manager at Rangers as well. The jersey might be heavy, the suit could also be very heavy. I think he's got a better idea of what to expect, but that doesn't mean anything. John Gregg was a great football player, knew everything about Rangers, and he didn't actually set the head on fire either,
Well, there's an argument, mate, if Big DJs doesn't get fit that John Gregg could win a quadruple in his first season. Southside.
Aye, back in the day. See, that's the night game. When was that? What year was that?
75, I think, mate.
75 was St Etienne.
75, was it?
Aye. September.
Ibrox, that would have been the old Ibrox then. It must have been. I'd been rocking that
No,
night.
they still had the seats, I think, across at
the Centenary
stand.
Aye, Centenary stand would have been, aye.
Long benches. That was the main stand for that game. I was lucky enough. You know.
I didn't know. I'm just digging it out. I'm looking to see if did you say Platini was playing for them? I don't think he did, mate.
Michel Platini played in the away game.
I'm going it up here this now when they beat us 2-0, and I don't see Platini's name.
I'm sure it was.
That wine must have been good, Southside.
I'm sure Platini played.
Are you sure you don't get Michel Platini mixed up with another Michel?
I could be that, you know. Hey, Michel Marbel. That's my French done, by the way.
Yeah, because I think I would remember that Carl Frieda.
I'm sure he was playing, honestly.
All right, I can't find them in the stats. When you said that, I went, wow. Aye, but 50 years ago since we played them, September, it was a European Cup time. We just won. We were back in Europe. It was a bit of a shock. Yeah, it was a bit of a shock at the time.
It's always a shock when you get beat with somebody who plays in green and white, you know.
There is that, mate. There is that. And they were unlucky, by all accounts, to lose the final.
To Bayern Munich?
Aye, Bayern Munich.
I went to that game. They were unlucky, but football is all about luck.
Aye.
Well, although at 90%, if everybody played a perfect game, every game would be a draw. Put it that way.
Aye. AK, I get a 10 for the pass, but when you come, AK.
Hi, Cal.
Hi,
I'm
AK.
looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Wednesday I'll be going. Along with my good friend there, Southside. So we'll enjoy the game and we'll take in the new signings and hopefully. I don't know what the crowd will be. Hopefully the weather will put some more numbers onto it. 20
I
quid
don't
a
need all the
ticket for an
pies.
adult. No, that's Stevie you're talking about. But, no, hopefully we get a reasonable crowd. 35,000, 40,000 were a good crowd to get. So I come along. It's only 20 quid a ticket for adults. So
that's reasonable, isn't
it? 5 or 10 for kids. That would be good.
I mean,
get a chance to welcome our new manager to Ibrox.
Aye, and it's nice to see that Waynes can actually get to a game. You know, that people that can't get because of season tickets can actually get to a game, maybe see a wee bit of football, you know, get them started.
It's important, mate. It's important, yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Right, I better go. Okay, look, I'll give you a phone maybe on Wednesday after the game. Hope it's a cheerful one and no tearful. Right, okay. Bye, nice to hear from you. Bye.
Cheers, Cal.
Cheers, Cal.
I still can't find Platini playing in that game. I'm sure he's Googling the Rang Michel.
Is that the club that Platini started at?
I'm going to even look at. I think he might have been finding Michel at hello, and get mixed up. I'll see if he started. Maybe Carl's right. I just can't find it, but I can't remember him playing for St Etienne. But people would have talked about it if he'd have played at Ibrox because he was one of your top players outside that. Well, he did, mate. He's right. But it was he didn't sign him for 1979. There you go. 79, 82. He went Nancy, Cincinnati, and then Juventus. So he was half right, mate. He wasn't playing in that game, but he did play with Cincinnati, and so well done, Carl. Good shout. There you go. Every day is a school day, Southside.
Aye, well, I did say seen him. There's been some. I mean, I remember I seen Mario Kempes playing at Ibrox. We only won the World Cup with Argentina, I know, but
Valencia.
They came and battered us at Ibrox. So what a player, you know, what a striker.
Rainer Bonhoff.
Bonhoff, Riquelme, I remember Riquelme playing at Villarreal. He was some player. I know.
With Valencia, mate, also later on.
The Juventus team that we played in, we put out 2-0 at Ibrox. They were top drawer. I think 7 of them or somewhere was in the national team, wasn't it, for Italy? 7 of them, I think.
I mean, but that Juventus team, all right, they gave us a bit of doing, but that Juventus team with Del Piero on it, they were top sides and all, mate, weren't they?
Aye, when they came, aye.
You were talking about potential winners of the competition. You know?
Fox, did Zidane play in that Juventus team as well in the midfield? With Conte?
Zidane's a different age for Platini, mate.
No, I'm talking about Juventus. See, when you're talking about the Del Piero team and
right.
Conte and that, I think Zidane might have played in that before he went to Real Madrid. No.
I don't think he was there that long.
He was some player, Zidane. Loved watching him.
Yeah.
Any of the players for this World Cup stick out for you?
The young Spanish centre half, mate.
Aye, excellent. Aye, only 19.
Young Spanish centre half. He would have been 96 to 2001. He was with Juventus. God, I don't think he was there that long. 5 years. Yeah. I think that team we played was 94.
Right, just before it then.
Aye, I think so. Mate, I'm saying this from memory. I've not checked any out. I didn't even know that Michel Platini played for Cincinnati, and so there you go. Yeah, but just that if somebody like Platini played at Ibrox, I think people would have mentioned it in the past, and you'd have known about it Southside. I can't remember Platini playing at Ibrox. No,
I can't remember him playing myself, to be honest, but you probably would have remembered it, you know.
It had been talked about, wasn't it?
That's just Hullet played at Ibrox, you know what I mean?
What's that?
Hullet.
that was a friendly.
Aye, and even that team when we played PSG, I'm sure De Boer missed a penalty in extra time. We put them out. We beat them in penalties, I think, that night. Arteta played against us. Pochettino played against us. Thingmy was playing it. What would you call him? Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho.
Ronaldinho was playing against us, no?
Whatever happened to him?
Ronaldinho.
He was on the telly last night, wasn't
he? The big spacesuit on.
Oh dear. Somebody, how bad was that, AK? How bad was
it? I think Ronaldo's been on the pie stall with Big Stevie.
Yeah, I just thought, oh dear. Anyway, we digress. Yeah. I'm a big fortunate, so sometimes you might catch players on the way up, you know, and with some of these draws early. And fair play to Carl, I didn't remember that Platini played with Cincinnati, you know. And remember, there was no PSG then, you know. So how things have changed, AK.
Aye, the world. You'd nae Leipzig or the Salzburg or that, the Red Bull teams either. But aye, money's definitely changed a lot of football teams in the successful period that they go through. Back in the 70s and what have you, Man City were just a run of the mill team basically. The odd cup victory, I think, but nowhere near as powerful in the football fraternity as what they are now.
Aye, how things have changed. I mean, they must have won a long time without a trophy, Man City, then they've obviously exploded. Interesting to see how that pans out. The only team the new manager. But aye, listen, I'm going to doff my hat to Callum because every day is a school day. And he might not go to that he played in that tie, but got it right that he played for Cincinnati and Southside, eh?
Aye, it's good that we've still got the old bike there and all. Aye, Brooks, I think that chance of trying to flog it, I know. So he did at one point out the stadium. I think he was offloading the bike, Mr. White. But it's good that it's still there in the trophy room at Ibrox. Because some of you look in the trophy room and you see some of the gifts that the club have received over the years. I know they've moved a lot of them into the museum now as well. So the museum's changed a few times. I've been in about 4 or 5 times now, and it sort of changes, take different things out and put other things back in and take things out of the trophy room and swap things there. But it's amazing the amount of gifts that you see in the trophy room that we've received for different teams over the years, Ox.
Aye. You've got to tell stories. Maybe they should be selling that more to get people in. But aye, Mr. Fox is with me. Michel Platini never played against Rangers in his professional career as a footballer. It's been confirmed. The Fox has spoken. But we're just waiting for a venue I think is going to take everybody out on Saturday, and it's going to be a free bar for everybody who can make it, because he's huge winnings yesterday backing Fox to win the Open. Yeah, huge winnings.
Free bar sounds good.
Yeah. Just to venue to be confirmed. We'll let you know on
Edmonton
Monday.
House.
We'll let you know on Monday, AK.
No bother. Well done, the Fox.
Aye, that was a bit of drama, wasn't it? That was real sporting drama.
I never thought he was going to do that. I thought it was about to play off, but held his nerve. It was a good putt and a good finish.
Aye. You mentioned Europe earlier on. Obviously, my priority is the league because of where it takes you, but Europe's always got to be seen because of how important it is for the revenue, AK, and that's what's happened. Particularly in Scotland, mate. Yeah.
Aye, I think. Well, last year was obviously a disaster, but Gerrard, when you think back when he came in, he set the thing down right away. Want to do well in Europe, or want to qualify for this, or want to do, in the previous season you're getting beat away with a team for Luxembourg, so he's putting the marker down right away. It's about standards, and I think McInnes is going to be doing that as well. At Rangers, you're not allowed to, just dismiss a tournament because it maybe doesn't suit. We'll all look at the league first and foremost. That's the end target. That's our bread and butter. But I think the momentum thing that you spoke about earlier, Ox, Europe's included in that. The start of the season, start of Europe, getting qualified into the groups. It's a new experience where McInnes wants to be and Rangers want to be. So there's a lot of groundwork got to be done, and it's all about gathering that momentum. European qualifiers is going to be earlier in the season, as well as the league kick-off, and then before we know it, we're into the League Cup competition. So the more games that we can win in a row, that's where everything starts to gather momentum. So I think Europe is important for McInnes, but in essence, in the long run, it is the league that is the one that all the supporters want, if we can.
Of course, and you mentioned Gerrard there. That in 2018 when he came in the door, I think it was 4 qualifiers. I think it was 4 quite rapid at the start of the season. We pretty much started this now. Where we were and where we ended up. And we actually were unlucky not to get the groups, which was remarkable at the time, where we were as a team and what it was trying to do. And, you know, and we went to Moscow, we're very unlucky not to come away. We were winning and there was a bad goal that the game might be different. I think we get one chopped off as well, Southside. Remember, yeah. But that was a remarkable run that Gerrard done it. I don't think, because we never maybe get the silverware or competed with the league, people don't look at that. Where we were and what he done, that was a remarkable run.
It was. You were travelling. When everybody was going to be able. Boys, I was going to be doing that. When we were travelling, you just had a feeling that you were coming back with at least a draw, if not a win. You just had that feeling that we were going to do well. You just had it. You just had the feeling, and he did. And even when it started, I think it came about the first game away, but it was UEFA when we had the 9 men. It got us into that was a playoff that got us into the group stages in one of the years. But you just had that feeling travelling to the grounds that we weren't going to go and struggle like we had done in the past under certain managers before watching Rangers. We'd been beat by some pretty dross teams for many years. And when you travel away, it's not often you get a win. You can go and see a win. Took me quite a number of games before I seen a victory. And there's other people been lucky that I've took with me now, you know what I'm talking about, and they seen the victory straight away. They following Rangers abroad. So, but he put us on the map, Steven Gerrard, you know. He had that, he knew how to tactically set us up in Europe. Obviously, we've been at Liverpool and been successful. But he had that determination. We had the players that were good under pressure, that could play the system and the style that he wanted to play. We had a threat up front. We had a striker that could impose himself on defenders. We had Kent playing well at the time. He had a midfield. It didn't matter who you played, whether it was Jack, Davis, Aribo, Kamara. You know, they were comfortable in that type of system. And obviously, with the 2 fullbacks that were bombing up and down the park all day long. And we put a fist up. There's a couple of teams we should have probably beat, but we lost late goals in games. Benfica was one. I think Porto was another. Where we could have went away with the victories in certain games. Villarreal, I remember that away for him. I think we drew 2 each or 3 each. Alfie scored a beat Shahida. But we were back on the map in Europe in the games and travelling and going. We had a confidence about us that we weren't going there just to get beaten. It'd be a trip away and back up the road. Like for many a time it happened under Walter and that before. Advocate had us no bad in Europe. Paul like when in his short time had us winning away for him in Europe and all for a shorter period of time when he was there. But there's been other managers that have failed pretty drastically when they've been at Rangers and fallen them abroad. And we've just been coming back, and like I say, the other years we've been beat with some dross and all. But Gerrard certainly put us on the map. And it was a feel-good factor when you were going and travelling and you knew Stevie G was at the helm. And for the 3 years that he was there, or thereabouts, it was really good time following Rangers abroad.
Aye, and that led to, if I'm arguing for 18 to 25, mate. The last season, mate, our record in Europe was arguably our most consistent, and hopefully Derek gets that back on track in this 25/26 is seen as a blip. AK, yeah?
That's what we're hoping for, Ox. Aye, definitely. As I say, I mean, McInnes has been in and out of Europe with the clubs that he's been at, but he's no had the the players at his disposal to go deep or do well in Europe. So it's a fresh challenge for him personally as a manager to pit his wits, but he's got the expectation of the support, and he's got a better standard of player, you would say, at Rangers to give himself the opportunity to win the games and to compete in the league, the Europa League format, because at the end of the day, it's cash, it's revenue that the owners are looking to bring in. You know, as I say, it's very well that the support can say we don't care about Europe, it's all about domestic, and it is in essence. But the owners will still see that was an opportunity missed there last year with how poorly we did. We dropped out our coefficient points, and we had an opportunity there to, you know, qualify straight into Champions League just based on what we'd done previously in Europe. So I think we need to reset and go again and see where it takes us. And as I say, we've got a couple of good tests in the friendlies this week with our French opponents and West Ham. So I'm looking forward to see what the players can gaze and what sort of structure and, you know, tempo to the team that we've got. Because I think even McInnes, just for friendlies, you want to win these. You want to make a good impression on the support so they can go, aye, I see what he's doing. You know, because there was a lot of games last year you were leaving Ibrox going, what kind of format were we there? What were we trying to do? I think McInnes is just desperate to make a good impression with everybody.
Well, you only get one opportunity to make a first impression, mate.
Absolutely. Nailed it.
So, Mr. Fox is saying the two to watch for St Etienne is Zuriko Dishonvili and Lucas, left winger, and Lucas Stassan, the centre forward. So there's two to watch. And I think Michel Platini is going to make a comeback. Yeah.
You need to be bringing him back for the deed.
Aye, that's right. Aye, I forgot about that.
Yeah, clairvoyant there.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Sorry. I wasn't being disrespectful. I just forgot his past away. Yeah. Anyway, listen, lads. Thanks for doing the show. Enjoyed it. Southside. Last word, AK.
Oh, brilliant. Aye, it's good to get back in about it again. Nice summer's night again, and we look forward to what's ahead of us. So, aye, thanks again to yourself, Walks, and Southside, the Takey team, and of course, Carol for joining us. So, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks, Walks.
Southside.
Aye, good to get back. Looking forward to the season kicking off, and I suppose it's Wednesday. It's just that wee teaser and warm up for the season kicking off. Then we'll get West Ham and then we're into it. Dundee United away, which I'm looking forward to. So I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for having us on. It's great to have done a show with AK and your good self. I'll need to suffer him on Wednesday night at Ibrox. So maybe we'll get a couple of shandies in us before the game kicks off. We'll see. But no, thanks to everybody on the YouTube feed that have been listening to the show and participating, putting their thoughts in and that. And it's good for them. So thank them for joining us as always on the YouTube feed. And thanks to you, mate. As always, there's only one team and one crown. Let's get this done. Rangers, time to bring success back to the football club. The support demand it, we want it, and just get it on it together and let's do this.
It's no the beginning because it's bounce games, but it's the start of Derek's career, and you're right, AK, you'll be anxious to get after a good start. It'll not define him, but if you don't get results in the two bounce games, if you get a result in the Friday night, they're forgotten about. If you don't get a result in the bounce games and you don't get a result in the Friday night, it becomes an issue. And we know how that momentum can grow against you. But listen, thanks to you two gentlemen for doing the show. AK, Southside, thanks to Cal for joining us. More importantly, thanks to Fox and All School Blue, without who there's no show. Thanks to everybody listening. We'll be back an hour before kickoff with a pre-match show as we build up to see who's starting the game. And then just a quick show after to sum up in a friendly match. And then we'll be back on Friday night before we go full time next Monday. Thanks for listening. Take it away, All School Blue.